Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, first off, Happy New Year's Eve, and hope you all are having a great finish to your 2024. This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm here today for the 16th review of this WWE 24 series, where we review WWE 24 Raw 25 Years, which goes behind the scenes from Raw 25 back in January of 2018. January 22nd, I think the date was. I can't remember the exact date. I'm not going to lie. This one, I'm kind of more so like, I just want to get past it because Raw 25 sucked. It absolutely sucked. Especially more knowing that Enzo Amore was supposed to have like 4 segments on this show. And of course, that had to all get changed. This is the day that Enzo got fired for the accusations he had against him at the time, which he was proven innocent. And just still, there's some documentaries that WWE does where they try to hide the truth. They try to hide the truth that they know that this show was a bomb. There was nothing good about it at all. Well, there was like 2 things that was good on this show. The opening segment with Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Miz winning your Continental Championship off of Roman Reigns. Everything else, it sucked. And I hated how much when WWE does these documentaries, they try to cover it up. They try to cover up the fact that they knew it flopped, and they try to make it look like it was a bigger night than it was. No. So I did I think this was the first time I ever watched this one. I don't remember this one at all. I still don't remember much about it because, again, I just didn't care. I did kind of watch this one kind of like, let's get past this one. There's other ones that I have seen before that I look forward to coming up, and some that I haven't seen yet that I do want to see. So, we're just going to breeze through this one really quick. It felt like so much of this episode, they were emphasizing how great the crowds are at Raw. Which, yes, they are. But remember, around this time, 2018, Raw sucked. Raw sucked for many years under Vince McMahon. Of course, they tried to show the production meeting saying, congratulations on Raw 25. Did they show when Vince probably ripped up the script how many times? Did they? Showing some highlights from Raw. I did like seeing... They showed like Sean Waltman preparing for Raw 25 and the DX segment. He had this dog that he was carrying around with him that I guess he found with a broken jaw, and he had cared for the dog, which, you know, that was a cute segment there. The Undertaker, of course, was preparing as well to make an appearance, which this was actually, Raw 25 was actually his first appearance since his possible retirement at WrestleMania 33, which the promo he cut when they showed it later on in this documentary did kind of make you feel like he kind of been saying this could be it. But of course, again, we all know from the Last Ride documentary series, which that might be a series I may need to revisit again and review sometime too, because that was actually good as well. That could have been a sign of him possibly hanging it up, but of course we all know that did not happen, thank goodness, because that was not the good match to finish up your career on. The Boneyard match, in fact, was at WrestleMania 36, Night 1. They showed that they were emphasizing about the idea of doing a show from two different arenas, the Barclays Center and the Mahattan Center. That was not a good idea. And I hate, again, how they were emphasizing, how much time was put into it with the Mahattan Center. You don't remember the fact that this show felt so long. Okay, there was probably, there's like 16 segments on Raw. There was 4 or 5 that took of this on this show that took place at the Mahattan Center. Barely anything. And again, the documentary made it seem like that more happened. It really wasn't. Barely anything happened at the Mahattan Center. Fans were pissed. There were pictures of JR and Jerry, the King Lawler, dozing off at the announce table. And everything they got was kind of crap. They had They had Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy one-on-one, which that was a feud that, should have been, if it was under Triple H, definitely would have dug a lot more deeper into Matt Hardy's broken gimmick. But instead, Vince has never got it, and I hate to say it, it was kind of a dragged-on, boring feud. Unfortunately, it didn't hit the heights that it should have been. They had the segment with Undertaker. That was fine. I'll give that one a pass. They, of course, had the famous segment with DX, the Club, the Revival in there, because that was because for weeks people were saying that's going to be like the Revival's Ascension moment. They were comparing it to whenever the Ascension had that segment where they got buried by the APA and the New Age Outlaws and whatnot, which kind of did happen. They were made to look like jokes in that segment. They did, of course, show, again, the biggest highlight of the night for me, besides the opening segment, where Vince McMahon was giving himself all the credit just for Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out, and Vince was like, things have changed. I'm too old now, but Shane can take the beating. And he tries to feed Shane the stunner. But then, of course, eventually Austin would hit Vince with the stunner. Of course, he sold it a lot better, at least, than what he did back when a few years later when Stone Cold stunned him at WrestleMania 38 and Vince wanted nothing to do with it. Oh, goodness. Again, still, what was worse? That stunner at WrestleMania 38 or when the stunner was hit on Linda McMahon? Which one was worse? I don't know. But, yeah, like I said, everything else, and I think, of course, they didn't emphasize, too, all everybody basically did for the most part of this show was just walk out and went, hi, and walked away. That's all it was. They just, said, oh, we have this person, this person, this person, this person, hi, and they walked away. I don't remember them showing any of the segments from the poker game they had going on. Because I think, they did do the poker game segment, so it wasn't Enzo's supposed to, bet his cruiserweight title or something like that from what Enzo was saying. But then again, too, no offense, Enzo was someone who wasn't the most trustworthy person. He did kind of twist his stories a little bit, too. Or also, he was supposed to be the one to take the 3D table spot. Instead, they gave it to Heath Slater instead. But, because that, of course, got messy, too. We did have the brawl with Kane and Brock Lesnar at the end of the show. I remember that. I'm just literally just going off the chart of what I remember and whatnot. What else even happened? But, like I said, the big thing was, of course, The Miz. The Miz won the Intercontinental Championship off of Roman Reigns. Roman basically had it for 6 weeks while The Miz was off doing a movie. And he won it back in a very good match. It was a really good match. And he immediately was told he had to get going over to the Mahattan Center and did a segment over there as well. And he mentioned he was cheered. He was actually cheered and got the respect that he's been waiting for the longest time. Which, again, good for The Miz with that. Again, Miz is another one of those guys. When booked right, he, again, especially between 2016 and 2018, I still think it was probably the strongest years of his career. When he spits out so much truth in his promos, that's what makes a great heel. And, again, he got the respect that night. And, yeah, of course, they wanted him because this is during a time when Roman was still being shoved down our throats as a babyface. But I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting. Am I? Talk about Taker. Talk about Sean Waltman. Basically how, the crowds are always great at Raw. I'm probably forgetting something, but I can't even remember off the top of my head now. I talk about how basically everybody was just like, hi, welcome. Oh! I remember what it was. Something I actually was like okay with, but it was brief. Chris Jericho was on the show as well, too. He made just the one backstage appearance where Elias runs into him, and he puts Elias on the list, which I know he was put him on the list too whenever Elias was like teasing him coming to Raw and whatnot back in 2017. And that was basically it. He just wanted to do one thing, and he had to be there for it. And that was actually, I think, Jericho's second to last appearance in WWE, because earlier that year he had done the match with Kenny at the Tokyo Dome? Because that was like probably still maybe one of Jericho's best matches. At 47 years old, had like the match of his career, or was it 2019? One or two, I can't remember, but it was. I think it was just this year. I can't remember for sure. It was either 2018 or 2019. He had the match at Wrestle Kingdom with Kenny. I think that's basically it. Like I said, I didn't care for this one. Like I said, it was one of those, other than stuff with the Miz, that I I'm not going to take away. He really, that night meant a lot to him. This anniversary show just sucked. And like I said, like this documentary, just like you can tell they were trying to cover up how bad it was. And I just wanted to get past it and move on. And that's all we're going to do. That's all I got to say about this Raw 25 years W24 special. Again, I didn't care for it. Probably my least favorite one in the series. We're going to move on, and the next one is the one with the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys Woken. Talking about the Hardy Boys' journey back to WWE. And I think a little bit into it. I think they went up to when Jeff Hardy returned the night after WrestleMania 34, I think, from his injury. I think that's where this goes to. I can't remember. But that one for sure is next. My goal is, because I am going to be going out of town in 2 weeks, my goal is by then to have 20 of these episodes done. This is 16. We have 4 left. I believe the 4 I want to try, I'll try to get done before then are the Hardys. And I think and then it's WrestleMania New Orleans. The one on Becky Lynch. And then the one on Ronda Rousey. If I can get those 4 done before I go do my business for a week, then I'll be good. And of course, we're trying to get a few other things knocked out, of course, as well beforehand too. Maybe today or tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, what are your guys' thoughts again on this Raw 25 years 24 special? And just on Raw 25 general again. I hated Raw 25. I was sour about doing this one, but I did it. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. I'll catch you guys all later. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your day, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!